Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to the video. Today's vehicle is a 2013 Ford Edge, and as you can probably see behind me, this thing's really dirty. So after driving on wet roads in the city and muddy grid roads as the owner works out of town, this vehicle has gotten really dirty on the outside with the unseasonably warm weather we've had over the last few weeks. It's pretty well everywhere you look in this car, and it's caked in dirt. Now moving to the interior, and a lot of that dirt has found its way inside the vehicle too. So besides the floor mats and the door jambs, the seats are also either covered in a layer of dust or they've got mud on them from kids' shoes. And now just before I get started on this detail, take a quick second and subscribe to the channel and turn the bell on so you don't miss out on any future videos like this one. Alright, well I think it's time to get the pressure washer fired up, get this vehicle transformed. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm not sure there's any better way to start this video off than with some super satisfying pressure washing to get all this caked on dirt removed. And even though I've just started, by the time I finish the pre-wash rinse, this vehicle is already going to look 10 times better. Moving to the back and where the majority of the dirt is, and this area obviously just takes a little more time to rinse off as there's a lot of dirt that's hiding underneath the trim or in crevices that needs to be flushed out so it doesn't end up running out later when I go to wash the vehicle. And now as you can see, the rear wheels and wheel wells were super dirty and full of mud. But since this isn't a GM truck, I don't have to spend hours blasting all the dirt out of carpeted wheel well liners. I can get the plastic ones on this edge sprayed out in only a couple of minutes. Moving down to the carpets, and although this vehicle had rubber floor mats in here, these carpets are just dirty enough to pull the Bissell out for, so once I finish up vacuuming, I'll get to work on extracting all the dirt that's hiding in these carpets. So after spraying on some of my carpet solution, I'll let it sit for a minute and then use the drill brush to get the dirt loosened up and ready to be sucked away by the extractor. And so using only hot water in the Bissell, I start by making a few passes while I spray on water, which helps to further dilute the solution. And then once I see the water coming out clear, I'll switch to just extracting so I can get the carpets as dry as possible. If you guys are curious as to what I'm using for solution or where you can get a set of the drill brushes or the Bissell Spot Clean Professional that I use, I've got the links to them in the description, so feel free to check those out if you guys are interested. here's all the dirty water that came out of these carpets. Not the dirtiest I've seen, but there was a fair bit of crud that had already settled to the bottom. Moving to all the interior trim, and depending on how dirty it is, I'll either just wipe everything down with a damp microfiber towel, or in this case spray in a bit of 10-to-1 all-purpose cleaner, and then wipe everything down. So the cup holders in the back seat here were full of caked on grime. So using the detail brush to get all that loosened up works really well, and then it can just be wiped clean with a dry microfiber towel. Now to dress and UV protect all the interior trim, I'm using a microfiber applicator pad and applying some 303 aerospace protectant, which is going to last for about 4 to 6 weeks, and leave everything with a non-slippery, non-greasy, and matte finish when it dries. Alright guys, so finally I had a vehicle in where I get to detail the engine bay, and I know a ton of you have been wanting to see this for quite a while. The very first thing I do here is completely disconnect the battery, so there's no danger of anything getting wet and causing a short. Then I'll spray some degreaser pretty well over the entire engine bay, making sure to spray a bit more on the dirtier areas. And the most important thing about using a degreaser is that you don't want to let it dry, so when you're doing this, you're going to want to move pretty quick. Next, I'll use my soft wheel brush to agitate the larger, flatter surfaces, basically anywhere I can get this brush on. And for the tighter areas, I'll use my smaller Speedmaster brush, and this works really well to get down into those spots where you can't possibly reach with your hand. Last up, I'll grab a small detail brush and get down into any of the crevices where my other brushes couldn't reach, like around the air filter box where there's a ton of tiny little crevices that are all full of dirt. Now once everything has been agitated, I'll simply just use the hose to rinse everything off, and if anyone's worried about things getting wet, it's perfectly safe to do this as I'm not using high pressure water, which could lead to water getting forced somewhere that it shouldn't be, plus the fact that in this engine the alternator is already covered. Really, engines these days are built and designed in a way that they can handle being wet. I wouldn't recommend taking a pressure washer to it, but what I'm doing here is completely safe. Though, if you guys are still in that no water camp, I do have a video where I detail an engine bay without running water, so give that a look if you guys are curious. So once I've got everything rinsed off, I'll use my leaf blower to just quickly dry things off and get the majority of the water dealt with. Then I'll just go over everything with a microfiber towel and make sure it's perfectly dry. Now to dress all the black plastic and rubber components in here, I'll quickly spray a bit of 303 protectant down and then go over everything with a microfiber applicator pad. So here's the before shot, and after about 20 minutes of work, it's looking 10 times better. Now to make the black plastic trim on the exterior pop, I'm applying 303 protectant, which is going to offer great UV protection and give the trim that freshly detailed look to match the glossy paint.
Pretty good, eh?
That is amazing. Wow.
Look inside.
Oh my gosh, this looks like brand new. That's so awesome. This is the worst part, is in the back, I would say. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to let my kid ride this. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, my pleasure.
That's awesome.
Alright guys, and 10 hours later, I've got this Ford Edge looking pretty again. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and yeah, enjoy the guitar outro, and I'll see you guys in the next one.